Hi there, my name is Rebecca Feld, and welcome to my online homework research proposal. So, online homework platforms have been more prevalent since the pandemic in schools as a tool to engage students and increase learning outcomes. Now that most schools have returned to full in person instruction, online platforms for homework are still needed to improve student learning. I will investigate if there is a relationship between using online homework and student test scores in high school math at Huntley High School. This study aims to determine if the online homework will increase students' test scores. Understanding the effectiveness of online homework at improving student test scores is vital for teachers and administrators so that instructional practices such as online homework may aid in student achievement. So, my major issue here is that on Algebra 1, that is our highest failure rate at Huntley High School, as well as our homework completion for math. My research question is, does online homework improve assessment and scores among Algebra 1 students compared to traditional paper-based homework at Huntley High School? The three themes that I noticed in my literature review were online learning tools, engagement and student motivation, and feedback and assessment. So first, looking at our literature review of online learning tools. There are many benefits for online learning in some capacity. Online learning can give students the flexibility to work and access content and resources more easily. Other benefits of online learning include that students' autonomy, collaboration skills, and motivation may also increase. When students and teachers consider online homework, one of the major things that teachers really see is that it may cause more distractions for their students. However, this does not always seem to be the case, since there is data that shows that online distractions are indistinguishable from their conventional distractions. Flipped classroom models are a way that we can also use online learning tools. In a flipped classroom model, students complete parts of the lesson on their own, which allows the classroom setting to be more of a space for practice of the knowledge and the things that they had learned on their own. This model is used for looking at videos in place of lectures or even smaller videos to aid in homework assistance like the online platform of Delta Math. One study found that students used these videos and found them for their lectures to be very helpful because they could pause and rewind if they missed a concept or needed to hear it again. Studies have also shown that this model leads to engagement in mathematical classrooms. Another feature of online learning in mathematics can be done using to gamify learning. One example of this is through Math Island, where teachers can use the game to assess where their students are having difficulties in math in a very formative way. Moving on to engagement and student motivation. So for students to perform well, they need to be engaged and interact with the content in the classroom, both inside and out of it. They also need to be able to engage outside by one way of doing that is with homework, and that can affect students' results in the learning process. Homework can be used as a form of formative assessment since teachers are gathering information to identify what their students know, what they're struggling with, and what they can move to next in class. When teachers can see what their students know and the skills that they are lacking, they can use that data to aid in the type of instruction they would like to use to help their students. Along with student engagement, teachers must remain involved in the student learning process. Teachers need to show that they are passionate about the content that they're teaching and be engaged with it themselves, because if they want it out of their students, they need to do it as well. They also can do this with building positive relationships with their students so that their students will want to engage with them in the learning process as well as feel comfortable and safe to ask questions. Teachers also need to make purposeful assignments. So when they're creating homework assignments, we need to know what is the purpose behind it. Mathematics is comprised of skills that require some form of mastery before they can move forward successfully. So the idea of having homework completed with a mastery focus to have students view their homework in that way will be a way for them to extend their knowledge outside of the classroom. The third theme that I noticed was with feedback and assessment. So providing students with situations where they can receive feedback on their performance may impact their motivation to actually engage in class. The quality of the feedback provided over the quantity over the feedback might have a stronger impact on motivating that homework completion by the students. Constructive feedback can help guide students in their learning and also address their misconceptions. Specifically with homework feedback, we can write comments directly on students' paper if it's a paper-based assignment, or providing them with a grade base on their correctness, as well as like using online platforms. Students can view a video or a worked example for a similar problem when they're trying to complete their assignments. Moving into more on the online platforms is that students can also go through the process of error analysis if they get a question wrong, and that's really a skill that I want all of my students to have. One study concluded that when students know that they're going to be graded on something or even given feedback on it, they're more motivated to complete that task well. In developing effective assignments that allow students to practice their skills is really crucial for that learning process. After designing the assignments, teachers need to also provide feedback for their students. One study found that when students receive both constructive feedback as well as positive praise, they perform better and have a more positive attitude towards math. In that same study, they noted that there were 3 main categories that we could really provide feedback, and that would be teacher-provided feedback, student-provided feedback, as well as self-provided feedback, where the students are self-grading their assignments. And for my proposed study, I will be checking the students' homework, so providing that teacher-provided feedback on the written assignments when it's applicable. Now, for my methodology in this study, I will conduct a quantitative study and use descriptive statistics to determine if online homework will help increase my students' test scores. And by collecting numerical results, I'm going to investigate their improvements for my 2 standard Algebra 1 classes. I will be doing this through a practical action research design because I am the teacher that is in the classroom. And for the last 9 years, I'm constantly considering how to increase my students' knowledge and test scores. And action research allows me to do that because I'm able to reflect on my teaching, identify if there's a problem, collect and analyze the data, and then use that data to help improve my practice. So I'm hoping to transform my classroom practices on homework to improve our test scores and then bring that evidence-based information to my Algebra 1 team, so that we can seek to improve our freshman failure rate for Algebra 1 at Huntley High School. In terms of the data collection, the participants in the study are my Algebra 1 students, and that'll be a convenient sampling because they're already going to be in my class. I will replace their names with letters so I can ensure some security that their identities will not be able to be identified, as well as collecting parent and student consent. I will be gathering quantitative data in terms of their pre- and post-test scores for their overall performance of their growth. I will be using the exact same grading scale and same test to aid in test, retest, reliability, and validity. And both classes will receive the same instructional strategies to ensure that one class is only receiving online homework while the other one is receiving traditional paper-based assignments, and they will be the exact same problems. It'll just be one will be in the online format, one will be in a paper-based format. And then I will also be collecting data on their frequency of the completion, the time spent on the assignment, and then the accuracy for how it was done. For the online assignment, Delta Math will do it for me. For the paper-based, I will be collecting it. Next, I will use that quantitative data to analyze and use descriptive statistics to see the results of that percentage growth, and then seeing that net difference between those scores, and then conduct a descriptive statistic analysis of the collected data based on how long it took them to complete the assignments for measures of center and variability of their growth scores for the assignments. So in classrooms, we are seeing how tools and resources that were used during the pandemic can still have a place in our current courses. It is through my action research proposal that I will be doing this by providing empirical evidence regarding the efficacy of online homework in enhancing student assessment scores. By addressing the research question, does online homework improve assessment scores among Algebra 1 students compared to traditional paper-based homework at Huntley High School? This research aims to contribute to the ongoing discussion of educational technology integration and its impact on student learning. Collecting quantitative data on completion, correctness, and time spent on the online and paper assignments for Algebra 1 students to really see that percentage growth of their test scores holds many implications for the future of math classes here at Huntley High School. Thank you so much.